Hey guys, welcome to 7 days 1 shower, the trip around the world. So today I want to introduce you guys to the bike I'm going to be using for this trip. So this here is my 2007 GSXR600. I've owned this bike for nearly 10 years now, and it's gone from being my road bike, my track bike, and now my touring bike. It's not the most appropriate bike for this type of trip, however, this is my bike of choice. So let me walk you through some of the modifications that I've made to this bike that I hope will help me in Mongolia and the Stans. So, first up, additional bracing has been added to this bike to deal with the extra stress. Now, knowing another Gixxer that's been around the world actually had a subframe snap multiple times, as well as knowledge that I gained from R1 Shark, who's ridden this R1 around the world, led me to do this. So what this is basically a bar that runs from the pillion peg down to the rider peg, which I hope will take the stress off these mounting tabs here. Now that should hopefully prevent the subframe either snapping at the subframe itself or at the mounting tabs. And that would be due to the extra weight of myself, the luggage, and the bumpy roads. Now, R1 Shark actually gave me some additional advice as well, and based on that, I've added extra bracing to this point right here, which is between the frame and the front fairing stay. Next up, tyres. Now, honestly, this is a bit of a gimmick. So it would have made sense just to use road tyres like I have on all my past trips and just play with the pressures as needed. However, this time, just to try and deal with Mongolia maybe a little bit better and have a little bit more traction, I've gone for knobbies. It took me a long time to find knobbies that would suit this bike and have the longevity I need to actually get to and from where I need to be. So on the front, I'm running a TKC80 from Continental. It's a pretty tried and tested tyre, however, it is known to have a low wear life. On the rear was the more challenging one. Now, a TKC80 on the rear is expected to last about 4,000 Ks, which simply wasn't good enough for me. So what I've opted for here is the Golden Tyre GT723. Now the combination of these has seemed to give me a bit more traction on gravel roads, but really I've got to test it and see. Now, in addition to the tyres, at the back here, I've actually added a bit more storage capacity as well. So on the bracing points, on both sides, I've actually added these fuel bottle carriers, which should give me about 1 litre each side, which is definitely a help on a sport bike. And on the back here, I've just added a small tool tube, again, just for a bit more carrying capacity. So the next mod is actually from my track experience, or to be more specific, my track crashing experience. So when I actually crashed this bike, one of the big things to break was the clip-ons. Now from factory, they're just made of an alloy, a one-piece alloy, which just snaps. So what I've opted for here is actually a 3-piece billet clip-on both sides from Apex in America. So with this, even if the billet clip-on was to bend, I carry a spare rod, which I can simply replace. Other than that, a couple of small things. I've gone for thumb screws here to make it easier to access the battery if I ever need to get to an air compressor. And this, well, this is just for my butt. Now, all up, these are very small mods which I hope will help a sport bike deal with Mongolia, the Stans and beyond. But really, there's not a whole lot that's changing between what this is and what it's going to be. Other than this, what I've shown you, I'll be adding a 12-volt charger, but I'd really appreciate hearing your input on what I could do to improve this bike in a small way.